Hey, hello, and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Shadow of Whales' debut EP/album, Shadow of Whales, released in 2014. Shadow of Whales was an alternative rock band from Texas that had two EPs that I really like, and while they've not released anything or really announced or really gone radio silent since like 2021, I'm always pretty hopeful that more of their music will be released one day. This album's pretty great though, and they're a really one of the really good bands that never made a full album in my opinion. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks that I added to my playlist. 4 of 6, so most of them. This album's really good. Pretty much all the songs are decent, and the good ones are pretty amazing in my opinion. There's usually not enough tracks on EPs to get a good flow going, but this one manages it quite well. Dream is kind of a mid-tempo starter. Just a Little and Fall Back are faster rock-oriented tracks, which leads into Forever and Bury the Hatchet, which are both slower, more ballad-esque tracks. Pretenders ends the album amazingly with a return to the faster rock sound. So overall, I mean, EPs are kind of easier than full albums to get right, but this one really does do it well. In terms of genre, this is definitely just a typical 2010s pop rock album, but I really like that sound, and they do it really well here. This is definitely one of the best bands you feel like you should have heard of but never did, because they never released a full album and never really made it big. My favorite track here is definitely the final track, Pretenders. It's got the perfect amount of rock and pop mixed together, which pushes it above all the other tracks. Other ones like Just a Little and Fall Back, Just a Little is a little more rock and Fall Back is a little more pop. Pretenders is the perfect mix of both of the genres. So that's definitely my favorite here. And despite the greatness of this EP, I actually like their second EP, What We Do, better. Although not by an extremely wide margin. It's clear they're more experienced and interesting on their second EP, but I mean, this one's got a great start, and I love the style of this one. This is really showcasing the band and what they're made of. And then their second one is more what could they go, where could they go next. Now, this album doesn't take my top spot from 2014. That stays with George Ezra's debut, Wanted on Voyage, which is kind of like if this album focused on slower stuff and was a full album. EPs can't really compete with full albums unless the EP is perfect and the album is mostly not great. And while Shadow of Whales is pretty great, Wanted on Voyage is just as good, if not better, and is also a full album, right? There are double the amount of songs there than there are on Shadow of Whales. So it's not really... it's pretty difficult for half an album to beat a full album, in my opinion. So Wanted on Voyage keeps it. Next up is Blondie's 2014 album, Ghosts of Download. Their previous album had some interesting stuff, but it lacked in its overall quality. So I'm hopeful that this album will draw on that, but improve it overall to make something really good. Because I like the style of their previous album, it just wasn't as good as most of their stuff. So stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.